Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good, and you?
I am fine. Can you make me host?
That's what I'm trying to see. But then my question is, if I make you host, then I may not be able to share my screen.
No, you can share your screen.
I can, even if I make you host?
Yes, you can share it.
Okay, very good. So here we go, change host. Okay,
yes.
So now you have the people asking you to come in. Let me see. No, I cannot.
You can admit it. It is our team.
Wait.
I admit it. Tell me.
I'm just checking here because it's telling me host disable participant screen sharing. So let me see. That's what I thought, because I wanted to make you co-host, but I for some reason I can't. There's something not 100% right with this. That's not what I want. Let me see, maybe. That's exactly why I wanted to test this, because now let me see if there's anything I can do in the preferences that allow me to have a co-host. Where would this be? Accessibility, maybe. Nope.
There is option of sharing. You can click on that.
An option of sharing.
Yes, you can see.
Let me see, because something here is not right. Share screen, let me see. Full screen mode. Share all windows.
You got that?
I'm still looking. Something screen. Let me see if I can do it. No, it doesn't let me share the screen. Let me see if I can now. Okay, I can't. I cannot.
Can you send me your slide on my WhatsApp?
What do you mean?
You are host or not?
No, I'm not the host. You are the host now.
Okay,
Now.
I try to make an co-host. Okay, I check it. You don't share it. I check it.
I just
Wait,
don't
wait.
know why I can't exactly share the.
Okay, 1 minute. I check it.
I can't make you co-host so that I can share my screen, and at the same time you can allow people in and all those things.
Okay,
I don't know
wait.
why this doesn't allow me to do that. I have
wait.
I have got in touch with Zoom.
Make a
but-
host. Do you want
Pardon?
to change the host of Maria Eskin? You can see the option of co-host if I check it.
I don't have it. Maybe you can make me co-host. If you can
I
make me
make
co-host, that's nice,
there is
because then maybe I
there-
can share my screen.
Maria, there is option of make a host, not a co-host.
I don't have
can-
it. I don't have that option. I would love to have it, but I don't have it.
Okay, I can make you host, then we see it. Okay,
Okay.
I can make you. Do you want to change? Okay,
Yeah.
I make you host.
Yeah, I know.
Then
Okay.
you are only host. I am not a host.
Yeah, I know. And I'll have to get in touch with Zoom, which I sent them what do you call it? An email, but they haven't come back to me yet, exactly because I've been in this situation, but it's all good. It's all good. We'll be able to make it.
1 minute. If you are host, then it is very difficult for you to show a slide and admit a accept of new member. And
It's
also
not.
you
It's
can.
not. I'm actually accepting everybody, so don't worry.
Okay, and first of all, you check it if there is option of co-host. And one thing I want to ask you, you have a premium link of Zoom.
I do actually, but there has been a situation because of a school of languages that I work with, and there's been a mismatch of their link and my link. So now I need Zoom to give me what I'm entitled to have back.
How we can change it? Okay, you can sure that you can open all of you to enter in the
I
meeting
will
without.
allow people to come in. Don't worry. I'll allow people to come in.
Okay, I want to share something. In last our session, some people disturb our session. So
I believe that I've got everybody on mute. Okay, and I've got everybody on mute, and I'm going to ask people to keep their mics muted until.
okay, if some people don't mute their mic, and then you can mute their mic. Okay.
Okay, very good.
Okay,
Indeed.
you can see all of that. If anyone disturb us, then you can remove that person.
Okay, it's all good.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We can start our meeting in 8 p.m. Our host name is Sidra Parveen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She start the meeting at 8 p.m. host as a host. Then she invites you to present your today session, your lecture.
Share. Oops. Let me just. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay. Still people arriving.
Yes. Sidra, a message in group for joining.
Okay, sir.
Okay, she's here because I've seen her name.
Okay.
Okay. So the picture is clear and the sound is clear as well, correct?
Yes, I see your picture and your sound is also clear for me. Other participant, you can see the ma'am picture, video or slide, and also tell us about the sound of ma'am.
Everything is okay, sir, ma'am.
Okay, everything is okay.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. So we're going to give some time for people to come in because we're still early. Just,
Yes. People join it.
Okay.
In our last webinar, almost 100 plus member joined.
Very good. We'll see how
Maybe.
it goes on a Saturday.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, quite a few arriving now.
Yes. Now we can start at 8:05 p.m.
Okay, very good. And
We
so
made.
how was your week?
Yes.
How was your week? Did you have a nice
My
week?
week is very good and a busy schedule. In this week, I can start some other thing in our organization. You can see in poster. Also, I try to make a new member for our organization, and I also search a new speaker, international and national, for an upcoming event and webinar. And we have also course in next month. So we try to make a content of next course. I can tell you before we have a course of art of happiness next month.
Yes, I do know. Unfortunately, the time difference during the week doesn't really work for me. Unfortunately, when you're having the courses throughout the week at your 8 o'clock is my 3 p.m. And I'm
Yes.
always busy every single day of the week. I'm busy at that time. So
Okay. No. Okay. No issue. You also
we'll
give
see.
us time. Yes, you also gave us time of NLP. We are all thankful to you. You gave us time and you provide a free of cost course of NLP to people because NLP is new thing for psychologists and people. And
Very.
NLP is very interesting thing.
I'm
I know little
glad
bit
that you
about it.
think so.
Yes.
I'm so glad you think so. So I hope that by the end of our session today, you still think the
Yes.
or maybe even you can even like it a little bit more
Yes.
by the end of
I
this.
like it. Thanks a lot.
Let's see. No pressure, Maria, no pressure.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
And other thing is that our some of our member don't know about English language and don't understand English language. So maybe some member don't join this meeting.
Okay.
Yes, maybe our participants are less from our last session.
Okay.
That is possible, also possible.
Okay.
So can we start now?
Sidra, wait a 2 minutes, then we start it.
Okay, very good. Yes, it's 3 o'clock sharp.
Yes.
We can wait a little bit more, just a few more minutes. There's still people coming in.
Yes. Sidra, you can message in group. We are waiting for you. Please join early as possible.
Okay.
Okay, there's a little bit of noise coming through. I don't know if it is some mic somewhere.
Some members say that they can't join the Zoom meeting.
Okay.
Can you send the link again?
Sure. Where do you want me to send it to?
I check it. There is option of okay, I check it. I got the link.
Okay, very good. Thank you
Don't worry.
very much, because now I would have to leave the presentation to go to, and I switched off WhatsApp so that, you know, there's no pings coming through while we're speaking or while I'm speaking or while we're working. So I just closed my WhatsApp on the computer.
Yes, you can close it.
Yeah.
I got almost 5-member message. They can't join the meeting. There is option Zoom may not be support on your browser. Some
That's very strange.
Ask them if they have download the Zoom app or not. Maybe they don't have
they
download the Zoom.
they download the Zoom app, but
Yeah.
still there
Okay.
is another other option. Zoom International dial in number. What is that?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I don't know if people can join through the phone, just as if it is a phone call, but I have no idea whether there are any charges if that is the case. What we can do for future situation is that we can see if I can also
Maybe if you have don't premium account, then our meeting is end up in 40 minutes.
No, I have this is, it's not going to be over in 40 minutes because I have a premium
Okay.
package, so it's not, and it doesn't end in 40 minutes. That's a fact. There are other settings which are not working the way they are supposed to be with the kind of package that I have, but that I have to sort out soon, which still hasn't come back to me. So I just have to wait.
Okay.
For me
Can we start the session?
Of course, we can start the session.
Sidra, start the session.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys are trying to record, but I am recording the session as well. So then I can share it with you via WeTransfer. Okay.
Yes, you can transfer it and also share with us because our some member also don't
So
join
that you can then
this
send to
link.
the members that couldn't be present today. Okay.
Okay. You can send us, then I can send to our
I'm
member.
recording the session. After we finish, it'll upload to my computer, and then I'll make sure to send it to you via.
You can send me on Telegram. You have a Telegram account?
I do. I have Telegram. I just don't know if I managed to send such a heavy file.
Yes, you can send. Yes, you can send on Telegram.
Okay, so I'll do my best. Ooh, there's a lot of people coming in.
Yes.
So let's just give it a few more minutes and then we start because there's quite a few people coming in.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, okay, very good.
can we check it? Start it?
Yeah, let's
If
start
anyone,
then. Okay.
anyone join?
Yeah, I'll still
remaining
allow
join
people
during
to
the
come
session.
in. Okay, I'll still allow people to come in. It might take me a minute or so because speaking and clicking, it can be
Okay, okay,
interesting,
okay.
Yeah.
but it's
Okay, you
fine.
can allow everyone to join directly.
Absolutely. Okay, it's all good. It's all
Okay.
good. So let's
Yes.
start. And I just want to say hello to everybody. So we've been talking, right? But you've been listening to us, and I want to welcome you and thank you for taking the time to come and be here with me today and learn about NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming.
Thanks a
So
lot.
you're welcome. And thank you so much for the invitation, by the way, for for having this opportunity of sharing with people who are interested in NLP, which is something that I am very passionate about myself. So
Thanks.
having said that, let's carry on. So my name is Maria Extian. I'm Portuguese. I live in Portugal. My basic training is as a language teacher. So I teach English and German and Portuguese, my native language, as a foreign language. I have a degree in modern languages and literature from my hometown university, Coimbra, which is the oldest university in my country and full of tradition. And it was, like I said, it's the oldest one, the first one to be created a long time ago. So roughly 10 years ago, it was actually 2011. Let's say that during my degree, my undergrad studies, I lived in Northern Ireland on 2 different occasions as an Erasmus student. And then later as a teacher, I went to South Africa and I worked in South Africa also as a teacher for 4.5 years. And it was in South Africa that for the first time I heard about life coaching. And although I can't remember exactly what I was told at that time, I know that it was something appealing because the name coaching, life coaching, stuck to my mind. Fast forward to 2011, and I was back in Portugal teaching. And that year, I had some challenging classes, let's put it that way. And what was clear to me was that my students, although they had loads of potential, I could see so much potential in them. But I could also see that there was something going on, emotionally speaking, that was not allowing them to be all they could be as students. So I decided to go on a quest for tools that would help me help them, because at that point, I did not have the tools to help them in the way that I wanted. So the first thing that I actually did, although I was looking for a coaching certification, the first thing that I ended up doing was an NLP practitioner course, because the life coaching course was only starting a few months later during summer here and the summer break. And I thought to myself, no, that's too late. I want something, and I want something right now. So I got in touch with the institution that I was wanting to do my certification with. And I saw that they had a practitioner for NLP. And I got in touch with them and I asked, it was starting the following week. And I said, can I still join? Is this anything that you would advise someone wanting to become a life coach? Would this be something that you would advise me to do? And they said, oh, yes, most definitely. If you want to become a life coach, this is definitely the tool that you want, a tool that you want to have in your toolkit. So that was my first step. It was my practitioner in neuro-linguistic programming. After that, many things happen. So I ended up doing my coaching certification. And then I went to London to study with Richard Bandler, one of the co-founders of NLP. And I got my master prac, which is the next level after the practitioner. So I was there and studied with him, which was a huge pleasure. And after that, I did quite a few other things along the way. Most, like, for example, my post-graduation in coaching. I also, by a Portuguese university, by the way. And so it was the first coaching post-graduation that was offered in my country. I also studied as a neuro-language coach, which is a methodology of language teaching that brings together neuroscience principles and coaching principles. So it's a very student-oriented methodology and a very effective one as well. And effective is what I like. Then the latest thing that I've done, which really was something, it's like I usually say it was the cherry on top of the cake, was actually a branch of NLP called quantum healing, offered my dear trainer, Dick Harbers, who unfortunately passed away in early January. So I'm still, let's say, in a bit of a grieving process, because he was so special to me, and he was like a grandfather, and it was completely unexpected. We lost him and we weren't counting on it. So what will we be doing today? And before I forget, I just want to ask you all to keep your mics on mute, please. If ever, feel free to interact with me through the chat, ask questions. Every now and again, I'll pop in and check, and there will be a time for us to exchange ideas, for you to ask me questions, and for me to the best of my ability, give you the answers that you are looking for. So my idea today is basically give you an idea of what the meaning of the term NLP is, and talk a little bit about the origins of NLP, how did it come about, who was involved, and also talk about the principles and beliefs of excellence which inform NLP practices. And in a minute, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And then I'm also going to talk about the branch of NLP that I've just mentioned, quantum healing, which is what I use mostly in my coaching practice. And in order to do that, I'll give you a few pointers in terms of how quantum healing is related to quantum physics, because it is informed by quantum physics. And then we'll talk about its applications. And as we move along, as we go along, I will make sure to give you an experience, more than give you a lot of theory. It's my goal to give you an experience of NLP. So are we all ready to start? Let me know in the comments if we are ready to start. Ready? Let's go, because we have a lot to cover and not so much time. So what exactly does NLP stand for? What exactly is neuro-linguistic programming? So neuro has to do with our nervous system, and how our nervous system is connected to our body, right? And how that connection is also, they interchange information, so to speak, right? Mind communicates with body, body communicates with mind. They affect one another. And then there's the linguistic side of things, which has to do with very often with our, the way we communicate with ourselves and other people, all right? So the part which has to do with us communicating with ourselves, it's very much our internal dialogue, okay? Also the way we communicate with others, and the importance of language also in terms of our performance, our behaviors. And then there's the programming, and the programming, neuro-linguistic programming, also has to do with the fact that our behavior, our performance is very often informed by our patterns of behavior, or if you want, aka programming, or even conditioning, which is something that we all are subjected to in some way or the other throughout our lives, but mainly the first 7 years of our lives, the conditioning, the programming of our first 7 years of our lives is what is going to determine our patterns, our future patterns, okay? That sooner or later we start becoming aware of. And usually we become aware of them when they are not so beneficial to us, when somehow we feel that there's something keeping us stuck along the way. So let's say we have a goal, we want to achieve that goal, and for some reason we seem not to be able to achieve that goal. There's something which is not helping us move forward. And so NLP was created by not only these three gentlemen, usually everybody knows two of them, Richard Bandler and John Grinder, but there is also a third one, Frank Pucelik. And all of them came together. I mean, the one that really started it was Richard Bandler. At one point, he was house sitting for a family therapist called Virginia Satir. And then he started reading quite a few books, psychology books. And he started becoming very intrigued because he was wondering what was happening in terms of what was happening. Why were there so many schools of psychology, or so many methodologies of psychology, all kind of trying to assert themselves as the one, and yet, in his opinion, those schools were not really, whatever the school was, or the methodology, if you want to call it that way, they weren't really getting results, success in what they were doing. And so he wanted to understand, why is it that some people have not really that much success with what they're doing? However, there are some people who are excellent in what they do in terms of psychology. So that's how they started actually. That's how they started NLP. NLP, now, Richard Bandler has a very prolific background, or diverse, if you want to call it that way. He has degrees in mathematics. He also worked with computer science. He also has a degree in philosophy and psychology, if nothing else. And he's also a musician. So from then John Grinder is a linguist. So he was the one that brought linguistics to the plot. And Frank Pucelik is a Gestalt therapist. So the three of them started cooperating, working together, wanting to understand how was it that these three people that we can see here were having amazing successes in what they did. Virginia Satir as a family therapist, Milton Erickson as a hypnotherapist, and then Fitzpearls as the founder of the Gestalt therapy. And so their idea, and this idea came from Richard Bandler, because of his background in computer science and how computer science uses modeling. So he decided that he wanted to model examples of excellence. And he started by psychologists, these three psychologists. And it was interesting because what he found initially is that none of these three people were aware of what they were doing that was so effective, that made them so successful. So he went in almost as a detective, if I may say so, and they started looking, what are they doing that is actually allowing their clients to actually get results and overcome whatever they come to see them and they want to overcome. Okay, so their idea was to be able to understand it, to kind of put it into understand the strategy of what they were doing, and then apply that to other people, so that by modeling this excellence and teaching this formula for excellence, these strategies, these successful strategies, other people could actually use it on other people and get the results that these people were getting for their clients as well. So it was kind of replicating the model so that more and more people could get the results that they were looking for in their lives. After that, once they managed to kind of take an X-ray, if you understand what I'm saying, if you allow me the metaphor, after taking the X-ray of what these people were doing, they decided to carry on and understand what other examples of excellence in other areas were actually also doing. And in that regard, they start looking, for example, at athletes. Why was it that some athletes were so successful in what they were doing? And then it carried on from there. I mean, these days, NLP has many applications. So we can apply it with athletes, we can apply it with people's personal lives, we can apply it with businesses, business people, CEOs. It can be applied in education and so on and so forth. And it's all based on what they were able to achieve by starting to analyze what these people were doing and other people of success in other areas outside psychology. But it was their idea was always to understand what these people were doing, and so that they were always focused on a solution, not on a problem. So they could see that what you really want to understand is how is it that people are performing well, rather than what is it that is keeping people stuck. And then the idea would be, if someone is not having the results, successful results, okay, so if they apply these strategies, what results do they get once they actually apply these strategies that they were able to put together? But they went beyond strategies. They also came up with principles, and they also came up with techniques. And a lot of people know NLP, or so I believe, at least the people that I sometimes talk to in terms of what they know about NLP. And a lot of people think of NLP as, you know, this amazing toolkit of techniques. And it's a fact, they do exist. And it's also a fact that they can be very effective. But there's a lot more to NLP than just the techniques. There's a whole set of principles that supports NLP, the tool. Now, in the so Richard Bandler started in 1970s, and the work has been evolving ever since then. And one of the criticisms of NLP at one point was that NLP was not scientifically based. And Richard Bandler, being a very cunning but also provocative person, often said, you know, I couldn't care less that this tool is not scientifically based, because what I'm interested in is in the results. Having said that, and results that he was getting for people. But having said that, ever since the 1990s, with the evolution of neuroscience, which is also going from strength to strength to this day, a lot of the discoveries in terms of neuroscience came to back up what Richard Bandler, John Grinder, and Frank Buchalik had been saying for 2 decades at least. 2-3 decades. So these days, if you put NLP and neuroscience side to side, you're going to see that they're very much based on, or rather, let me rephrase this. The principles of NLP are on the same page as the discoveries in terms of neuroscience. So basically, these 3 gentlemen, this trio, were actually people were visionaries, and they were quite ahead of their time. And like in so many situations, when something new appears, the tendency sometimes is actually to resist it until it's not possible to resist it anymore, because slowly but steadily things come up that in some way help to support it. And that's exactly what happened with NLP. So what is NLP in terms of definition? There's a lot of definitions. I've heard many different ones. And one that Richard uses himself is that NLP is a technology. He likes referring to NLP as a technology, which, you know, given his computer science background and the fact that modeling came from computer science, makes sense. But I've also asked him, I've also heard him using the term educational tool, and NLP is an educational tool. And being a teacher as well, you can imagine that I like this definition, NLP being an educational tool. But he also says that it's an art and science of excellence, as well as the study of the structure of subjectivity. And this one I also like quite a bit. And I'll explain a little bit, I'll develop a little bit on that as we move along. Now, then there is this definition by Gemma Bailey, a British NLP trainer, that says that NLP is an attitude of wanton curiosity that uses strategies and techniques to consistently produce a desired outcome. And I also like the sound of this one: attitude, curiosity, strategies, techniques. So it's not just techniques, it's a lot more than that. And yes, for us coaches, when we go into a coaching process, we always go in with a mindset of curiosity. Okay, understand who we have in front of us, how that person actually, how the subjectivity of that person works, how coming from the subconscious and the programming, and help that which is maybe hingering that person from achieving his or her desired outcomes, to actually be able to achieve them. To help them get unstuck, so to speak. Or if you want, help them unlearn to learn. In order to learn, sometimes you have to unlearn. And when it comes to behaviors or patterns, disempowering patterns at that and disempowering behaviors, that's very much what we have to do. We have to unlearn, to learn something different that will bring us better results. So according to Richard Bandler, he does say that NLP is an attitude and a methodology, not the trail of techniques it leaves behind. So basically, he wants to say what I've already said. It is a fact that NLP has quite a few techniques that can be used, but it's a lot more than that. And that's exactly where my presentation is taking us next. And not only do I want to share with you some, okay, and it's only some beliefs of excellence, which in their work, they, Richard, John, and Frank, put together by understanding what was the mindset of these people who were so excellent in their trade, in whatever area, field of work that they were doing. And they understood what was those beliefs that allow them to do the work that they did or they were doing. And so these are known as beliefs of excellence, but very often, if you look into some reference books related to NLP, you'll find these called as NLP presuppositions. So that is the official name, so to speak. In most NLP books, that's what they show up like, but some of us also like to call them beliefs of excellence. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is you probably have already time while I was speaking to read them. And I would like to know from you if there's anyone that you're not quite 100% sure of what it means. I'm going to go over each one of them in any case, and then I'm actually going to ask you to do something practical with them. So the idea of one of the beliefs of excellence is if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. So this goes along with a very famous quote by Albert Einstein that says insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So this is very much the same kind of idea. If we're doing something and it's not working, we definitely have to change whatever we're doing if we want it to work. Otherwise, it's insanity to keep doing the same thing that maybe hasn't brought us results for 3 times, 4 times. You know, we very often hear people saying, but why does this keep happening to me? Well, maybe you haven't changed the strategy. Maybe you want to change the strategy. So, and then you have all the resources to do whatever you want. And this is actually quite interesting. If you would hear one of my recent coachees talking about what she learned from our coaching process, you would hear us saying, oh, I learned that I have all these beautiful resources that I didn't even know that I had. And now that I know, I can access them and use them and so on and so forth. So that's exactly what we mean by this in terms of NLP, that we do have all those resources. And even when sometimes, you know, let me see if I can give you an example. It's like, let's imagine this situation. Someone has something to do and procrastinates. Any procrastinators out there? So this is something that I hear a lot of people, let's say, complain about, saying, oh, I wish I could overcome my procrastination. But they may be procrastinating about one thing, and next thing you know, they're all excited and motivated to do something else, even if that something else is lying on the sofa watching TV. For that, they have motivation. So do they not have motivation? They have motivation. They're just not applying it in the situation that they would like to apply it. Okay, but they do know what motivation is like because something else happens and they probably very excited to do it. So they know how to be motivated. It's just that in this particular situation, they're not applying that resource. I hope this makes sense. And then if someone can do it, so can you, right? And this is very interesting. You might be thinking at this point, easier said than done. And I won't say the otherwise. However, let me also give you an example that might shed some light. Many, many years ago, it was believed that no one could run the 100 meters under 10 seconds. Okay. And for many years, no one did until someone actually did it. And guess what? After that, the amount of people that have run the 100 meters under 10 seconds, it won't probably, two hands will not be enough to count the amount of people that are able to run the 100 meters in less than 10 seconds. So it's more in terms of whether you believe you can do it or not than actually be able to do it or not. Okay. So we can, if someone else does something, we can do it too. Okay. It's more in the mindset than anything else. And then there is no there is no failure, only feedback. And this one I love because, as a teacher, many people come to me afraid of making mistakes. And I find that so sad because it's so unfortunate that some people think so, because mistakes are part of learning. And here, let me give you another example. Now, I'm sure all of you have heard of Thomas Edison, right? If it weren't for Thomas Edison, we wouldn't have light bulbs. Anyway, so Edison, it took him, so they say, I wasn't there, but I've been told this so many times, but it took him like 10,000 attempts to be able to come up with a light bulb that worked. And when he had failed for the 9,999th time, a friend of his told him, don't you think it's enough? Don't you think that's enough? Shouldn't you stop now? How many more times do you want to fail? And he said, but I haven't failed. I've just found 9,999 ways that this doesn't work. And sure enough, the next one, he managed to get it right. And here we are. If he had given up, if he had looked at the failure rather than the possibility, then we wouldn't maybe have light bulbs yet. We would all be in the dark ages still. So this is one that I really value. I wish more people could look at their mistakes, or whatever you want to call them. Failure is not a word that I like using, but I wish people would use as they make mistakes as one step in their learning process. By the way, if you know anyone who has learned anything without making mistakes, please introduce him or her to me, because that person will become my superhero. Okay, because I don't know anyone who has learned anything and has learned it without making mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning, and that's all they are. If you're not learning something new, maybe you're not making mistakes, but even if you are doing something that you've done many times before, we are not always at our best. It's okay. We're only human, okay? And then there's another one that I love as well, and that you might think, oh my God, how is this even possible? Which is, if you try, you won't succeed. So this is very interesting. And I could do something right now to explain to you, and I think that's the best option, actually, to do something so that you can understand what I am talking about. And at the end of the day, we'll get 2 in 1, which is not only are we going to understand what it's meant by this, but we're also going to understand how NLP is the study of subjectivity, or the study, or an educational tool to make the unconscious conscious. Okay. And so what I would like you to do is, for a moment, everybody has their cameras off, so it's all good, but I'm going to invite you to, it's important, and I'll explain why it is important. Our brain loves knowing why, okay? If you have a child asking you, why, please tell him why. It's his brain wanting to know why. And even us, it's part of our human nature to be curious and wanting to know why, okay? Our brain needs to know why, otherwise it's going to go round and round and round until it gets the answer. And that means that, for example, even with students, if you don't give them the why, you might be talking another 30 minutes and they're not going to absorb anything, because until their brain gets the why, they're stuck, okay? So it's very important to give people the why. Now, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And the reason why I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, it's because to be able to be in touch with our inner processes, we have to close our eyes and not allow what's outside to actually interfere with this connection with our inner life, so to speak, okay, or our inner processes. So take a deep breath, please. Close your eyes, and I want you to see yourself with your eye closed in your mind. I want you to see yourself opening a door. Okay, can you do that, please? Close your eyes and see yourself opening a door. And I want to believe that all of you have closed your eyes and see yourselves opening a door. And now, with your eyes closed still, I would like you to see yourselves trying to open a door. So please see yourselves try opening a door. And now my question for you is, are the 2 images the same? Please let me know in the comments, yes or no. Did you get the same image? Are the images the same? Yes or no? Quick. On the chat, there is a difference, someone says. Very good, thank you very much. No, it's not the same. No, it's not the same. Good. All right. So what did we learn from this? Would you like to share with me in the comments as well? What are we learning here? Did you open? You can open both doors, but that's not the question. The question is, did you open them in the same way? Did you get exactly the same picture the first time and the second time? When I asked you to open the door and when I asked you to try opening the door. What I want you to realize is that first, very often, like those people that Richard, John, and Frank studied, who were not aware of why they were getting the results they were getting. Okay, they were not aware of the processes that they were using that was allowing them to get so much success in their practices. okay? And very often we're not aware that what we do in our minds when we think of certain things. So basically, every time that you use the word try, the chances are that in your mind, it's like, oh, this is going to be difficult, okay? It's not just opening the door. It's like trying to open the door. That's what is happening in your mind. These are our unconscious processes, okay? Not only that, but very often we're not aware when we're thinking or in certain behaviors, when we have certain behaviors, there's a film going on in our life. It can be a picture, it can be actually a sequence of pictures. And that is exactly what we want to be aware of. Because how are we going to change our strategy if we're not aware of the strategy that we're using? Do you understand? So it's very important to start paying attention when something is not going the way you would like to do it. Just make sure that you can see the quality of the pictures in your mind. And what NLP helps people do is actually change the quality of those pictures so that what seems, even if at the subconscious, unconscious level, not possible, becomes possible. Okay? That is extremely important. There is the study of our subjectivity. There is us being in touch with our inner self that so often goes unnoticed. But you know what? You can only change that which you are aware of. So the first step in any change program is actually allow yourself to be curious about your blind spots so that once you become aware of them, you can change them. Okay, so awareness is the first step in any transformation process. You can't change what you're not aware of, right? Yeah. All right, very good. So that is what we mean by if you try, you won't succeed, okay? Nike would tell you, just do it. Exactly, absolutely right. Don't try, just do it. That's the point. Then all behavior has a positive intention. And this one is also very, 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 very important. And it's also one of my favorite. All behavior has a positive intention. And, you know, I know a lot of people that would look at me and would go like, Maria, now you lost the plot completely. I'm sure you lost the plot. How can a behavior, all behavior as a positive intention? Well, based on my experience, that's absolutely what happens. And let me give you an example. I could give you many, but I don't know. Let's go with this one, okay? So recently I was working with someone who was telling me how she became really upset in traffic, okay? How she suffered, between inverted commas, of road rage. And so I start digging, right? Being my curious coaching self, I start digging and I start asking, okay, but what does that mean? Why do you get upset? Oh, because these people are ignoring me. And I said, oh, okay. So what's the intention of your becoming irritated? And she said, why do you get irritated? And she said, because I want to be noticed. And I asked, and what if you're not? What does that say about you? And she says, then that means that I'm not important. See, can you understand what was the positive intention behind the upset, the irritation, the road rage? She wanted to be seen, right? So that is also one of our human needs. Okay, it's the need to be valued, the need to be significant. So all that road rage was doing, all that upsetting was doing, was actually because she wanted to be noticed. She wanted to be, you know, who wants to go through life being invisible? I don't. I don't have to be in the spotlight all the time, but being appreciated, being praised, being recognized, it's nice. Otherwise, what would I be doing here, right? I think it kind of stands to reason. Now, the interesting thing was that then we started, then the next move was, but that's the way that you are perceiving it. What else could it mean? Besides the person not respecting you, besides the person not valuing you or seeing you, what else could that mean? Oh, maybe the person had a bad day, and so it's, you know, it's all over the place. And I said, I see, right? So this is what we call in NLP reframing. I was able to help her reframe her first train of thought. So, you know, which one do you think is going to be more beneficial to actually to you, right? To the way you feel. The fact that you can think, oh, maybe this person just had a bad day, and, you know, doesn't mean it's just had a bad day. Okay, rather than thinking, oh, it doesn't respect me, oh, I'm not being seen. At the end of the day, who's doing that to yourself? You are. You chose to interpret it that way, right? We don't know it is that way. That's called mind reading, right? And mind reading usually doesn't work that well. Not saying that never works, but it doesn't work that well most of the times. Okay, so that's what we mean by all behavior has a positive intention. So it's on us to find out, why is the person doing what he or she is doing? Okay, because there will always be a positive intention. And then the point is, can you look at it from a different perspective? Okay, or can you think about it in a different way that is more beneficial to you? Because at the end of the day, who exactly is going to suffer if you go into road rage? Whose adrenaline is going to be running through your veins? It's yours. The other person is gone. So you're the one who's off balance because you became irritated because of the thought that you associated with something. Change the thought, change the chemicals, and you'll be more balanced. Okay? And then finally, the person with the most flexibility controls the system. Now, this is also very, very interesting. Although most people, when they think of Charles Darwin, think of Charles Darwin mostly because of his expression, the survival of the fittest. The most interesting thing is that Darwin actually said that the world would one day belong to the people who are the most adaptable. In other words, the people who are the most flexible. The people who are the most flexible are the ones that will be able to adjust to change in a better way, in a more beneficial way for themselves and other people as well. Okay, so it's what it's meant by the person with the most flexibility controls the system. And finally, another one, there's a lot more, obviously, I didn't bring them all, but I chose a couple that I think are quite interesting and important. And this one is also very, very important. It's very important for my work as a coach, but it's very important that we have this in mind. What exactly does map is not territory mean? It means, if you look at a map, it's only a representation of the territory. Once you are in the territory that the map represents, you can see that the map is just a map. There's so much more to the territory, And this means that each one of us has a different map because we are the result of the circumstances in which we grew up in, okay? Be it family, be it society, etc., etc. There's a lot at play as we are growing up, and all of those influences are actually leaving an imprint in us. And it's not always the most empowering imprint that we are left with. So when we cross paths with other people, and we very often tend to be, and myself included, sometimes judgmental, the truth of the matter is that that person's territory is not my territory. And so what is the way I look at things, the way I look at life, the way I look at what's, for example, polite or impolite, might be very different from that person in a different context. And we all, whether we like it or not, even children of the same parents, having born in different periods, even if it is a year apart, you may think they're having the same education. They are not, because the circumstances of 365 days apart might actually bring different results. Okay, does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, for example, I am 5 years apart from my sister. My upbringing and her upbringing, I was the eldest, she was the second one. It was not the same, I can promise you, right? So we're children of the same parents, but my upbringing and her upbringing were not the same. So my territory and her territory is a different territory, and I have to understand that. I cannot think that people fit the same mold, okay? I'm sure not everybody from Portugal fits the same mold. Not everybody in Pakistan fits the same mold. Not everybody anywhere else in the world fits the same mold, okay? So we all come with different territories. So a map is not definitely the territory. So I want you to think, again, this is going to be another practical application of what I'm sharing with you. I would like you to think of let me think of a challenge that you might have in your life, whatever it is, okay? And you're just looking at it from an observer perspective, okay? You're safe, you're here, okay? You're listening to me. And I just want you to think of a challenge that you might have. Which of these beliefs of excellence could maybe help you get better results or overcome the situation? Okay, think of what you may think about the situation right now, okay? And if you could choose to one of these beliefs of excellence, which one would be the one that you would have to believe to be able to deal with that situation in a more empowering way, in a more beneficial way for you? Okay, can you do that? I'm not going to ask you to write them in the chat, but let's say I could have done this another way, and I just realized I could have given these numbers. So let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say that's their numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which one would you, if you had, could maybe help you overcome or look at the situation at the very least, which is a good start, in a better way? Just drop the number in the comments, please, if you may, okay? Thinking of a challenge that you might have had recently, or you may even still be having. Which one of these beliefs of excellence would allow you maybe to overcome it? to overcome that challenge. Very good. Very good. Ah, lovely. Good. Amazing. Okay, very good. I can see that some people would like to adopt 2 and 3 of them, and that's very good. That's very good. Okay. One of the beautiful things that we can do in coaching, and especially in the coaching that I do, okay, is actually install beliefs, and we can also install resources. Very good. Thank you very much for all your participation. Thank you for interacting with me, which is the way I like webinars, is actually interactive webinars where I'm not just waffling away. I'm actually interacting with the people listening to me. That's the way I like to work. I don't know how to work in any other way. Very good. Thank you so much. You guys are great. You guys are really, really great. I really appreciate your, not just you taking the time to be here with me today on a Saturday at the weekend, where you could be doing something else, but I really, really appreciate it. And I so appreciate your participation as well, okay? Thank you so much. It makes my heart warm as well. So you're getting some value, but I'm also getting something back, which is usually the way this works. Very good. Okay. All right. See, so there we go. So we've already done 2 things. We've already gone through exercise 1, which was the awareness one, the one about the doors, right? Opening and trying to open. And now I'm going to help you with something else, okay? I'm going to use another very famous NLP technique. Let's call it this way, okay? So we looked at beliefs of excellence. We've also looked at the importance of awareness. We are now going to move on to what I call empowerment through management. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so in my coaching, what I love doing is actually, in my coaching, what I was just having a look at the comments, and you guys are being very, very flattering, so very acknowledging. So thank you so much for that. And so so in my coaching, what I really, really want, sorry, is to help people, to empower people, basically. That's what I like. I want people to leave me stronger, okay? More in tune with themselves, more aligned with themselves, stronger in terms of mindset, being able to do more than they ever thought it was possible. That is my mission. And as part of that mission, there's 2 stages sometimes to that mission. The first one, as I've told you, awareness, for sure, okay? The second one is actually management, because sometimes it's very often people come to my coaching sessions and they bring me a very pressing situation, okay? Something happened to them maybe that morning or that afternoon or the day before, and they want me to help them with that. So sometimes what we help them is actually to manage the situation, okay? So for me, management and resolution are 2 different situations. So let's say this, for example, if someone is very anxious or maybe is borderline having a panic attack, okay, it's on the verge of having a panic attack. What is a management resolution? What is a management tool, a management technique? The management technique would be helping them to breathe, okay? Because breathing is important to deal with anxiety, right? So when we are anxious, very often we have a very shallow breathing, okay? And so we have to breathe deeply. And actually, if you are anxious, the best kind of breathing is actually from your tummy. Okay, you bring your breath from your tummy. You breathe like a baby. You allow your tummy to go up. Okay, if you look at the baby breathing, you can see his tummy going up and down, up and down. And that's exactly what we want to do. We want to breathe from our tummy. Allow the breath go up slowly, steadily, all the way to the top of our head. Okay. And then I got scared here. And then allow it to come out as if you were blowing through a straw, you know, like having a straw in your mouth and just allowing the breath to go through the straw slowly and steadily as well, like until your tummy go all the way in. Okay, and you keep doing this. You keep doing this until your body gets the message, you're okay, you're safe, you're breathing, relax. Okay, so that's a management tool. And there are other techniques that we can use for management. Okay, then there are resolution tools, which is where is the stress, that anxiety, that panic attack coming from? What is at the root of that? And then that's exactly where the intervention is going to be made. And that's what I call resolution. It's not just helping people breathe and overcoming the anxiety, it's actually understand what is at the root of anxiety and help the person overcome it forever and ever and ever. Okay, so that's exactly how it works. So that's the difference between management and resolution. And for management, I very often use NLP. For resolution, I use the branch of NLP, which is quantum healing, which I will be taking you through as well. But now, so that you can see the difference between the two, what I'm going to suggest, okay, what I'm going to invite you to do is actually to go back to, remember that situation that I said, okay, maybe you are having a challenge and I would like you to think of the challenge and think what would be the belief of excellence that if you chose to have, if it were your belief of excellence, then you could overcome that challenge. Okay, remember that I asked you that, so we're going back to that situation. Okay, so what I would like you to do, and again, I'm going to invite you to sit comfortably wherever you might be. Okay, be it a sofa, a chair, on your bed, it doesn't matter where it is, just sit down and relax. Close your eyes because we're going on a journey inside again, okay? And I'm going to invite you to bring that challenge to your conscious awareness. Just look at it, look at the picture, okay? What does the picture look like? I want you to pay attention to the characteristics of the picture. Okay, for example, is it black and white or is it color? Is it big or is it small? Does it have movement or is it still? Is there sound? What sounds are there? External sounds? Or is it you talking to yourself maybe in your head? Or maybe you're even talking out loud and saying something to yourself. So pay attention to the sounds, if there are any. And what feelings? What feelings are also associated with that picture in your head of that challenge? Where is that feeling located? How does it feel? Does it move? Emotions are energy in motion, so probably it does move. Is it warm? Is it cold? What sensation exactly does it provoke in your mind? Sorry, in your body. And when you have that picture, and you can see that size, the size of the picture with all those characteristics, and you know where the picture is placed as well. I'm going to ask you to put the picture in front of you, right? With your eyes closed still, but move it to in front of you. And now I want you to, and leave it there, but we're going to leave it there for a moment because now we're going to focus on something else. We're going to focus on the picture of the desired outcome that you have for that situation. So what is it that you want to happen? And it is what you want to happen. It will never be what you don't want to happen. Okay? We have to give our brain a positive guidance, a positive target, a positive goal. So think of what you want instead of that, which is the challenge. Okay? And notice the characteristics of that picture as well. What does that picture look like? Is it color or black and white? Is it still or does it have movement? Is it big or small? Does it have sound? What sounds does it have? What sensations does it bring you, knowing that that is what you want to happen? Where is that feeling located? What's the characteristics of that feeling? And now I want you to turn that picture into a very, very appealing picture. So bring into the picture whatever else you want the picture to have, whatever characteristics you want the picture to have, so that that picture becomes really, really appealing to you. Like something that you will not rest until you have it. And when you're satisfied that everything has been adjusted and it's looking really, really nice and it looks really, really appealing, okay? I want you to make that picture now for a little bit small, very small, okay? Like the square as small as the square in a chocolate bar or slab, okay? And you're going to place that picture in the bottom right-hand corner of the other picture that you have put in front of you. Okay, so let's pretend that the picture that you have in front of you, which represents the challenge, is like the rear view of your car, and then you're going to put this one at the bottom right-hand side, as if it was those mirrors for the blind spots in cars, if that makes any sense. Okay. If you don't drive, maybe you can think of a TV screen, and then you're going to put this tiny little thing there by the bottom right-hand side of that screen. And the next thing that is going to happen is that I'm going to make a noise, okay? And when I make this noise, which basically is a swish noise, I want you to see that small picture, but which you put all those characteristics that are so appealing. I want you to see that picture, wow, become really, really big when I say those words. So as big as the screen, God knows, in Times Square, for example. Okay, so you're going to make it really big when I say swish. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, swish, make that big. Swish. And swish again. And swish again. Let it be big. Let it be as big as you can. Swish again. And swish. And let it go back to what it was. For now, you can open your eyes, look around the place where you are. And now you're going to close your eyes again. And you're going to see that picture that was in front of you, the one with the challenge. And again, the small picture with everything that you put in there, which makes it so appealing in the bottom right-hand side. And when I go swish again, you're going to allow it to grow bigger and swish and swish and swish again. Let it be big, big, big. Swish. Wow. Very good. Now, I want you to tell me which picture is bigger. Now, at this point, after these swishes, which picture is now bigger? Is it still the challenge which is the bigger one, or have you managed to make the other one bigger with all these swishes? Yes, someone got it. Someone got the one where she wants to be bigger. Yay, another person. Very good. Very good. Wow, amazing, lovely. Okay, so now tell me something. You don't have to tell me, but I want you to answer that to yourself. When you think of overcoming the challenge, how do you feel? Good. Very good. So now when you think about overcoming the challenge, how does it make you feel? How do you look at it? Swish picture. Yes, very good. Very good. Ah, very good. Someone says that I can do it. It's possible. Good. Oh my God, you have to love this. Oh, so good. It's true. Our brain works very, very quickly. Oh, people, I'm so happy. Very good. Okay. So this is the joy of being a life coach. It's what you, when you can see, even if it is a baby step, okay? Even if it is a baby step, allowing people to leave, to go away with this idea that it's possible. I want to have it. Okay. Oh, lovely. This is beautiful. Thank you so much, people. You're so, so amazing. Right. So going back to my friend, Richard Bandler, he says, remember, it's your own body, your own brain. You're not a victim of the universe. You are the universe. Okay. And this is a beautiful quote, if I may say so, because next thing you know, we're going to move on to quantum healing so that I can explain a little bit of what quantum healing is. So Dick Harbers, an Australian trainer, was my master of quantum healing. I came across his work quite by chance. And his work changed my life. And it made me want to use it to help other people change their lives too. What is, if I can, you can. So that's the idea. Okay, it's based on that NLP belief of excellence. If I can, other people can. If I could get the results that I got from this process, I can help other people get exactly the same results. And I have. And it makes me very, very happy, because if I get happy to see your responses to the switch as exercise, I can promise you that quantum healing takes that to a whole new level. And what exactly does quantum healing do? So quantum healing is based on the quantum physics principles, and there's 2 of them which are present in quantum healing. So if NLP is the art of turning the unconscious and subconscious conscious, quantum healing takes it a step further. And besides working with the subconscious, the unconscious, and the physical conscious, it also works with the supra-conscious, okay? So with a higher level of consciousness that quantum physics talks about as well. So where Newton's physics, the materialistic physics, sees reality as putting together things and building bigger things. So you bring together atoms and you get objects, okay? And you build from the bottom up. Quantum healing and quantum physics sees the process as being inversed, meaning everything starts up there in the universe, okay? And things kind of are built from top down. So it's a little bit, if you look at this picture here on my right-hand side, it's a little bit like the internet, right? It comes from above and allows us to work with our phones, okay? This is what in the previous slide was called downward causation. So the idea is that we live in a universe of possibilities, and everything in the universe that some people call the matrix, other people call the, what are the other names that people call it? The matrix, the divine matrix, the unified field of consciousness, as opposed to the physical or consciousness or the ego consciousness, which is the one that we have, that we work from very much when we are awake. And there's also this, whereas the physical physics, the materialistic physics, sees objects as being located in space and time, quantum physics tells us that there is no such thing, that consciousness is everywhere and nowhere. So this origin is everywhere and nowhere. So it's a little bit, if you look at this picture here at the bottom, the idea that we have of the internet, okay? Where does the internet start? Goodness knows, it's anywhere and nowhere, okay? It's everywhere and nowhere. So that's very much how quantum physics works. And if you don't understand exactly what I'm saying, because sometimes some of the principles of quantum physics are not necessarily very easy to get at the first time, not saying that you can't, you can, I'm sure you can. But let's look at all these objects that are here in this picture. Where exactly did Steve Jobs get them from? Before he actually put them together, where did he get them from? Can you please tell me? I've had this I've had this question for so long. Where did you get it from? What did he have to have for these objects actually to materialize and be ready to be sold? Any ideas? Where did they start? Where did they originate? Aha. Exactly. Very good, very good, very good. Good, 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 good. So it came from an idea. Okay, it came from creativity. And what's the origin of creativity? It's this field of possibilities where everything is possible until an observer sets their eyes on something and makes it happen. And what is initially just waves of energy collapses, becomes an idea, and then it becomes an object. Okay, so it's not like a tree that has roots and grows up. It probably came from somewhere down. Okay, and if this idea of energy might sound strange, we are actually, human beings are beings of energy. Okay, so if you look at this, what are these things here trying to do? Could they be trying to know, to measure someone's heartbeat? And how are they measuring the heartbeat? Okay, could it be in hertz? And the same applies. What else works with hertz? So many things work with hertz. Yeah, human energy for sure. Energy, yes. Radios, what frequencies? When we want to change the frequency of a radio or a TV for that matter, what are we changing? The frequency in hertz that the broadcast is being done in. Okay, so when we measure people's brain waves, guess what they're measuring? Hertz. So it's energy. So we are definitely, oh yes. And if you look here at the defibrillator, okay, what is it for? What do we need these for? What are they used for? Okay, let me see, because I've got an answer there. Nerve impulse frequency. Okay, very good. Again, what do we need the defibrillator for? What do we use it for? In which circumstances? The defibrillator is more for bringing someone back. When someone goes into cardiac arrest, which is game over, basically, okay? When we go flatline, the defibrillator comes in to kind of, well, through electric shocks, allow our heart to come back and beat again, correct? So when you do that to a heart, right, you're actually, basically, it's as if our heart is, well, it's not that, it's flat, right? What else do we know that can go flat and we need to connect it to another source of energy to actually allow it to work? Anyone? I know I'm not being very clear here, but maybe someone can pick it up in the ether. Someone can pick it up in the universe. What else do we know that can go flat and we have to connect it to a... Okay, not clear. I know. Okay, very good. Now think about, for example, I don't know how many of you drive, okay? But if you have a car, maybe one day the battery of your car went flat. God knows mine has gone flat. The battery of my car, not good, not good. Okay, and so what did I have to do? I had to connect the battery of my car to another battery of another car that battery was actually working, allow the energy from the battery of the car where the battery was working to connect with mine so that I could jumpstart my car. So very much, it's actually the same thing that happens when a heart goes into cardiac arrest and you give it shocks with the defibrillator to actually activate it again. Okay, I hope you get the comparison, but it's very much it's the procedure. It's very similar. Okay, so what are some of the principles of quantum physics? Number one, everything is energy. Okay, everything. Okay, someone said it's clear now. Thank God. So everything is energy. So everything is energy in the universe, and not only, we are energy as well. And everything is interconnected. Okay, so if everything is energy and waves of energy, we are all interconnected. And I'll give you another example now. I'll explain what I mean by that and why do I say that. And then we are also co-creators of our reality. So this idea that we are victims doesn't really add up, because we are co-creating with our energy. We are co-creating our reality. So there is this relationship between us and the divine matrix, the all there is, the unified field of consciousness out there. Okay, so we're exchanging energy all the time, and whatever we put out there, that's very much what we collect. So we are energy. We have to see ourselves a little bit like antennas. Okay, these antennas that are somehow sending a frequency to the world, and whatever frequency we release, it will be the frequency that we are going to receive as well. Okay, because energy attracts energy on the same frequency. So when things are not going necessarily the way you would like them to be, ask yourselves, what frequency am I sending out there into the universe for this to be happening to me? But maybe it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And energy likes acknowledgement. It's a fact. Okay, and I hope by the end of this session you can understand what I'm saying through the process that I'm going to take you through. And the universe is ever expanding. Oh, yes. Okay, the only constant is change. If you look at nature, same thing. There's no such thing as no growth. What's not growing dies. Okay, so the universe is ever expanding. So if you think of this, if you look at this picture that I have here on the left-hand side, okay, this is a picture of the Big Bang, right? Which is known as being the origins of the universe. So everything at one point in time, many billions of years ago, if not more, was condensed in a little speck of energy that at one point just burst, almost like your swish pictures a while ago, okay? So just burst, and out of this burst of energy, everything was created. The stars, the planets, and at some point, living beings, be it animals or human beings. So where do we all come from? From that amazing source of energy. That is why quantum physics says everything is interconnected. Can you see that? And the universe is ever expanding. So it's nature. So are we, right? If we're not growing, we're dying, right? You're too young for that, don't worry. You're at university, so you're growing every single day, okay? And so am I, because I love learning, right? So there is that. And I'm not really going to go into this here, but it's very important before we move on to the practical exercise that I would like to share with you, so that then I can open let's say, I can open the floor to some questions. It's very important to understand this idea of how we are co-creators of our lives, of our reality. And I don't know how many of you are ever actually already heard of the placebo effect and the nocebo effect. The placebo effect is actually very often mentioned when we're talking about clinical trials, because there's always, or almost always, a group of people who are called the controlled group, where they're not given the drug, the medication that is on trial, but they are given something that they are told that does what the drug which is on trial is actually for, okay? And the thing is, the moment those people think that they're having the drug that does something beneficial to them, because that's supposed to be the purpose of whatever medication pharmaceutical companies come up with. But every time that those people are told that they're taking a pill for something, what happens is that a huge percentage of people actually overcome whatever physical challenge or whatever other challenge they may be having, just from believing that they are. So it's very much the mind working for them that does the work, because all they're given is a sugar pill. And this is so important that up until recently, no medication could come into the market to be sold if it didn't get the same results as the placebo effect. That's how important the placebo effect is. Now, the nocebo effect is the other way around. It's when people are made to believe that something bad is going to happen. Either they made to believe that, or they themselves believe that. Okay, and so the chances are, and some of the examples that are given are, for example, in cases of cancer patients, sometimes doctors decide to tell the patients that they have X amount of months to live, and sure enough, very often, the patients die on the dot. So they're told they have 3 months, and that's how long they live. Or they told they have 6 months, and that's how long they live. Okay, and there's a lot of research that backs up this, which I'm saying. Okay, and if someone is interested, some after the session during the week, sometimes the patients are even given a wrong diagnosis, which they believe in and has consequences as well. Okay, but I'll be glad to share some of the books, for example, that you can read if you want to learn a little bit more about this this, which I'm just sharing with you. Okay, so basically the idea is placebo effect. If you believe it will affect you, it will. If you don't, it won't, for good or bad. Okay, that's how it works. Very good. Well, good, good, good. So basically, what quantum physics tells us is that nothing is set or absolute. So there's no such thing as determinism, okay? Everything is subject to change, and everything is merely a potential of itself, okay? So, and what does this mean in terms of coaching? What does this mean in terms of our lives and what we can achieve in life? It says a lot. And that's why I am a mindset coach, because I know that mindset is so, so important, okay? Meaning, we are all born with this amazing potential, okay, that for some reason sometimes erodes for so many different reasons. But the thing is, if we bear quantum physics in mind, everything is out there in potential. So if we can connect to that potential, we can change things. We just have to believe that the potential is there waiting to be fulfilled. Okay? And that can be in terms of emotional growth, physical challenges, etc., etc. Okay, and I could give you examples of people that I've worked with in different situations and that managed to get amazing results through the work that we did, but because they changed their mindset, basically. Okay, they didn't go away the same way that they came in. Right, so what are the quantum healing principles? We believe in noticing and thanking. So noticing, becoming aware, and thanking that energy which comes to our awareness. We believe in non-judgmental processes. Okay, it's not up to me to judge anything. When I go into a quantum healing process, and my clients as well, I'm not just talking about myself as the coach, but also my clients, okay? This thing of saying, oh, I'm such a procrastinator, that's judgmental, okay? Let's be curious and let's go dig deeper, okay? That's the spirit, working with curiosity, right? To get to the bottom of things. It's also a non-directive approach. So as a coach, I'm not the one who tells people what they're supposed to do or how they're supposed to look at something. I work with what I call, or what we call, their territory. Okay, their territory. I work with their territory. Okay, that's all. And I'll show you how this works, because that's the next exercise that we're going to do. And then also we believe in ask and you shall receive. Okay, so we have to know what our desired outcome is for whatever circumstance that we want change, and work on it. Okay, it's not trying, it's doing. All right, very good. So that's it. I'm just going to quickly. Okay, so in quantum healing, we usually work in two stages. The first stage is what we call self-alignment, which is it's helping people actually align with who they truly are, okay? With that version of themselves that is there in potential, the possibility of being all they can be, okay? And turning the impossible possible. And so in this self-alignment, we go through different sessions where we help them get in touch with all the resources that they already have inside of them. Remember the principle from NLP? And connect with them, be aware of them, how they manifest to their conscious awareness. Then we help them recalibrate their IMAP, okay? And IMAP in NLP is very important. And if any of you are going to be in the NLP course in March, you'll definitely come across the IMAP, where I will explain exactly what it is like and what it's for. Okay, then we also work with timelines. We recalibrate timelines. Very often people have this idea of where their past and their future is, and it's not really beneficial for their progress. Okay, we also work with energy centers, being the energy beings that we are. And usually the last session is a session that is called Journey to Source. And it's top secret. I could tell you, but then I would have to kill you. So it doesn't work that way, okay? So it's a session which is very, very interesting. And yeah, it's top secret. Then after that, usually we have a second stage of QH, quantum healing, and we facilitate certain things, but the spirit is actually to help people become autonomous, meaning we want to help them to be able, for example, to install resources that they need, okay, or to do belief updates when they realize that there is a belief that is not empowering.
Maria, Maria, can you remove this person?
Okay. No.
Maria, can you remove this person?
Okay, I think it's quiet now. It's okay. It's okay. No worries.
Okay.
No worries. It happens. Sometimes it happens. Okay, very good. So basically to install resources, belief updates when they come across beliefs that are not serving them, disempowering beliefs, turn disempowering beliefs to empowering beliefs. And that's a huge topic, okay, because for me it's one of the most challenging situations in growth, in personal growth, is actually beliefs. They can be tough cookies, okay, tough as nails sometimes, but where there's a will, there's a way, okay. And then we also help them set desired outcomes and understand what it is needed for achieving the desired outcome that a person may have, okay? And that's exactly what I would like to invite you, okay? I would like to invite you to think of a desired outcome, a goal that you may have, okay? And this exercise that we're going to do now is what I call empowerment through resolution, okay? Meaning it's a technique that will help you.
Maria, you can remove this person. They can disturb again and again.
Not just manage, but resolve certain situations. Okay. It will. The desired outcome is not to me to establish, is for the client to establish. Okay. Sometimes, mind you, sometimes the only thing that I facilitate is for people to understand what desired outcomes should be like. Meaning, let me give you an example. For example, we can only set a goal, a desired outcome that is 100% our responsibility. Okay, I can't say I want this person to, no, it has to be, you know, dependent on you and you alone. Okay, not saying that you can't have help, but it will have to be your desired outcome for you to fulfill, for you to act on it. Okay, that's one. Another thing is that it has to be always stated in the positive. I've already mentioned this today, but I only mentioned it was just very quickly, but it's basically, it's what you want. It's not what you don't want. Okay, and in the NLP course, I'll develop on that, as well as, for example, sometimes for some people, the best desired outcomes are specific. So everything is down to detail, and for other people's unspecific desired outcomes work better for them for many, many reasons. Okay, one of the reasons being that sometimes the subconscious starts kicking in and screaming and throwing tantrums, saying, no, this is not possible. And if you make them unspecific, it appeases your subconscious mind. It's easier for your subconscious mind to accept the goal as being achievable. Okay, so I want you all to come up with a desired outcome, something that you would like to achieve. Okay, let's say in the short run, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, you can decide whether you want to a short-term goal or a medium-term goal or a long-term goal. It's up to you. Okay, or all I would like you to have is a desired outcome so that we can go through the exercise having that desired outcome in mind. Okay, does everybody have a desired outcome at this point so that we can start the exercise? Okay, so I'm going to trust that you do have a desired outcome, which is stated in the positive. It's what you want. Okay, very good. And that is, whether it is specific or unspecific, it's up to you, whatever you feel like at this point. Like I said, in our next, in the NLP course, I'll go deeper on this. Okay, this is just to give you a taster of something. Okay, and it has to be your responsibility. Okay, it's something that for you to achieve. Okay, not to say that you can't have help from external help, what we call external resources that might help you achieve the goal, but it has to be your responsibility. Okay, even to ask for those people help. Okay, very good. So again, I'm going to invite you to sit comfortably wherever you may be, whatever is comfortable for you. Take a deep breath and close your eyes. And as you're sitting there, relaxing, I'm going to invite you to take deep breaths. And as you take those deep breaths, you're going to become more and more relaxed. And as you're sitting there comfortably, becoming more and more relaxed, we're going to invite your conscious awareness to stay at the center, just noticing what there may be to notice. And we are going to invite your desired outcome, that which you want to achieve, to manifest to present itself to your conscious awareness. And I'm going to invite you to walk into your future timeline, wherever your future timeline may be at this point. Wherever you see that line that connects the present to the weeks to come, months to come, years to come. Wherever you see that timeline, I want you to just walk along that timeline, going as far as you need to go, and your being will know, going as far as you need to go on that timeline to come to the point where that desired outcome has been achieved. Your being, your all-knowing being, will guide you to that point in the future timeline where that desired outcome has been achieved. And as you get to that point where you see yourself in the future with the desired outcome having been achieved, I want you to have a conversation with that future self that has achieved that goal, and ask your future self what was needed to achieve that goal. What resources did your future self use that allowed him or her to achieve that desired outcome? What beliefs did your future self have that allowed you to achieve that goal? And whatever information that your future self can give you regarding what took your future self to achieve that goal. And when you are holding all that information, when you have gathered all that information from your future self, imagine that all that your future self had to share with you transforms into a symbol that you can bring with you into the present. It can be a symbol, it can be a picture, it can be a color, it can be a feeling, it can be anything, a sound, a totem, anything. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you can even float above your future timeline and come back to the present with that symbol. That symbol that encapsulates all the information that you got from your future self as to what allowed your future self to achieve that goal, that desired outcome. And as you get back to the present, I want you to allow that symbol to take hold somewhere in your body or in your mind. You can put it anywhere. Your being will know what place is best for it to be. It can stay in a place, or it can choose to spread its energy through all your body and mind and go to all the right places that will allow you to have that information at your disposal whenever you need it. Your being will know what to do. Let it go anywhere in your body or your mind. It may even, that energy that knows about what it's needed to achieve that goal in the future, may even want to touch yourself and leave the information there as well at your disposal. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, I'm going to invite you to take that symbol as well with you as you float above your past timeline. That line that connects your life from the beginning to the present, wherever that line may be at this point. And allow your being in the possession of that symbol to go as far as it needs to go on the timeline, on the past timeline. Allow it to go as far as it needs to go, leaving that energy of all the data that you collected in the future, in all the places, all the events, or even next to all the people that in the past may have contributed in some way, consciously or unconsciously, for you to not have 100% those resources, that mindset that will allow you, or whatever information that will allow you to achieve your desired outcome in the future. Your being will know where to leave that energy. You can even sprinkle it from above the past timeline, leaving that energy in all the right places, next to all the right events and all the right people. Allowing that energy to make all the adjustments in that past timeline that will allow you to come into the present, feeling stronger and stronger, more and more ready to carry out what needs to be carried out for that desired outcome to be achieved. Take as long as you need, as long as you need. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, when you feel that all the adjustments have been made in that past timeline, you can come into the present again, step into the present, take a deep breath, and allow everything to be integrated deeper and deeper, so that you are stronger and stronger, more and more ready to do whatever it takes to achieve that desired outcome. And when your being, your all-knowing being, is happy that everything has been done and left, it is in the right places and it's satisfied as far as this process has come at this point, in the knowledge that this process will continue to continue as you sleep and as you dream, and even when you are awake, doing your daily activities, and the process continues to continue in the background, going deeper and deeper, becoming stronger and stronger, And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you can allow yourself to start coming back, feeling relaxed and refreshed. And opening your eyes. So that you can ask me questions or say goodbye. Very good. I hope slowly but steadily you're coming back, taking your time. And I hope that this last exercise was in some way a beautiful journey inside. And I also hope that you're happy for having given me the 2 hours of your life, of your day. Because I certainly feel very privileged to be here in your company. It's been a privilege. Thank you so much for having me. If there are any
Thanks.
questions, feel free. I know
Thanks,
that
ma'am.
the 2 hours, sorry, but it was compact. It was full of
Thanks.
information and exercises. No, I thank you. Thank you so very much.
Thanks a lot. You gave a good and knowledgeable session today. Anyone have any question, you can write down on chat box. If anyone want to open their want to ask on mic, then open their mic one by one.
So,
Anyone ask any question?
it's okay. Probably everybody's processing.
Yes.
Probably
Anyone
people are processing, and it's beautiful what's coming through in the chat box.
Yes,
Walaikum salam. Yes, Arslan, ask.
okay. My question is that really I felt from inside out some very special type of things. I really felt myself. But the thing is that I was not that much ready to prepare a room for that meditation level of calmness. So I would like to ask that will
Arslan, your voice is missing.
Madam Maria Eckstein take another class the same? She will be taking the class or somebody else?
Yes, I tell you, you can ask your question on chat box. Your voice is not clear. Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Maria is also our speaker in our NLP course. You also join our NLP course free of cost without any type of money. Okay.
Sorry, because
You can ask your question in chat box. Your voice is not clear. Anyone have any other question? Please open their mic. Anyone have question?
yeah. Okay, someone is asking why it's difficult to go into the past during the exercise. I can't tell you that. I honestly can't tell you that. That's a question that I would have to actually work with you. I can't give you that answer, sorry. Because again, it's your territory. So I can't tell you, okay? There is a reason. At this point, I can tell you what the reason it is, okay? I would have to work with you further so that I could find out why was it that for you was difficult to go into the past. Okay, so this is exactly what I was saying when in coaching I'm non-directive, meaning I'm not going to guess why it was difficult for you to go. I would have to be working with you and ask you those questions so that you yourself can find the question. The answer to the question. Okay, so my role would be facilitate the right questions and the right processes to bring you the answer. Is that clear?
Okay. Have any other question? Why
Okay.
it's difficult to be? Yes, you can read that.
Yes, why it's difficult to be calm during the exercise, even when trying to relax. Exactly. You were trying to relax. Do you understand what I'm saying? You were trying to relax.
Yes.
So that's one of the things. Okay, sometimes we say things we don't even realize what we're saying, but the language is very telling. See, so I have to pay attention to what people are telling me because their language is a good indication of the internal process. And this trying tells me a lot.
Okay.
Exactly, it's true. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Yes, true blue. Okay, but
You have any other?
there could be a need to work on relaxation, install the resource, for example. So that could be a possibility moving forward. Okay. Again, I don't know for sure. I would have to work with you on a deeper level to be able to give you for you to find the answer. That's the right way.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Well, what kind of exercise? Well, it depends. So when I go into a coaching session, I never go with a pre-established session. Why? Because map is not territory. So I'm going to follow the client's territory. And so it's going to depend what the people is going to tell me. So again, I was saying, maybe we want to install a resource, a relaxation resource, for example. Okay. And this quantum healing work is very deep. So if people haven't done the work of getting in touch with their resources, there's like 7 basic resources, and then you can bring more into the play. The process is very deep, so it requires some deep work as well. Okay, or we will be okay. If I understand the question, quantum healing will come back with NLP. So in the process of NLP, whenever I'm doing the course, right, there will be some NLP techniques and some quantum healing techniques. Okay, so. Share some books. Yes, I will. Yes, I did say that. Yes, it's my pleasure. I'll tell you a few books that I think are excellent reads from different points of view, okay? From different points of view. Some very much related to this question of consciousness in the way that quantum physics understands consciousness, but also, very much some things related. Yeah. So I will make sure to give a list of possible readings. Okay.
Okay, ma'am, can we take Miss Doris from Canada? She also want to share something and give feedback about today's session.
Certainly.
Ma'am Doris, you are here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, you can open your camera.
She has.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you so much for today's session. Incredible information, knowledge, and taking us through that experience. It shows that doors can open, right? If we visualize, anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to more learning with you. I did want to share that I'm going to be hopping on next Saturday at the same time. Probably will be for just 1 hour. And I'm going to talk about, as an educator of 34 years, the training that I have achieved and the experiences in the classroom. And I've piggybacked that on to becoming a wellness advocate And my approach to life is having a holistic approach. And so we look at where we are, have areas where we want to work on and come and learn, right? And we utilize those tools to support us. So next week, I'm going to talk a little bit about a wellness pyramid and 6 pillars to that wellness, taking a look at what they are and having people think about where they are with each of those pillars, because we need them all to have a balanced approach to life. So maybe identifying where there's an imbalance, okay? Also, my fascination has always been of how our brain works. As an educator, I saw that with children too, how some have an open mindset, some have a closed mindset, some have a growth mindset. Why does that happen? So I'll talk a little bit about understanding how our brains work, the conscious and unconscious mind, not as deep as a level as you have shared, but something that I've learned in the process that has really supported me in understanding how to tap into that to make change. So exploring where our beliefs come from. When we are born, we are not born with these beliefs. So where do they come from? And why do they often become negative, limiting, false beliefs in ourselves, and how that holds us back? Along with that, how we can change that. We can change that. So I like to think about how our thoughts and our emotions can actually make our physical selves unwell. We can make ourselves sick, right? Our thoughts can give us an ulcer, for example. In the same venue, the same idea, our thoughts, if we change our thoughts, we can change our life. So if we change the way we think to a more positive outlook, and it's not just thinking, oh, I'm just going to think this in a, positively, we have to go deeper in to find out why we have those negative limiting beliefs. They stem from somewhere, and we can change that. So I hope to be bringing this knowledge because as an educator, I believe, and my belief was to create lifelong learners, giving them the tools, facilitating so that each and every one wants to become the best version of themselves. And that's not to say that we're not good enough right now. We are all good enough right now in this moment. As imperfect as we tell ourselves we are, you're not. You're perfectly fine just where you are. But you have the potential to become the full version, the best version of yourself, finding your true purpose in life, your why. So I hope to bring that knowledge because I follow a lot of people, and I've done a lot of self-discovery by attending webinars such as what we've been a part of today, which was incredible, just incredible. Like I get goosebumps just thinking about you taking us through that process. And I thank you for that very much. But as Tony Robbins said in a recent webinar that I was a part of, he said, knowledge is potential power. And so I thank all of you for coming here and learning because you've added to your knowledge. And we often hear knowledge is power. It's potential power because it's then what do you do with that knowledge? And for some of us, as you stated, we have all of these ideas and we're stuck. We want to do this and we jump on. So that's what he means by potential power. Okay, it's what are you going to do with that? And understanding how our brains work, the conscious, unconscious mind, our growth mindset, all of that will determine whether we're just going to sit with that knowledge or whether we're going to use that knowledge for serving others, becoming the best version of ourselves. So I hope you'll join me next week. And I'm looking forward to hearing more from our current speaker in upcoming webinars.
Thanks, ma'am. Anyone other who want to share their feedback about today's session? You can also share it on chat box. And if anyone want to share on in their voice, then you can open your mic and speak. But we have only 5 minutes remaining.
It's okay. I just want to share, and I'm sharing in the chat box as well. Okay, I'm sharing my the address to my website. So if anyone wants to get in touch through the website, please do. There's ways of doing it, and we can keep the conversation going. Okay.
Thanks,
So
ma'am.
it's just there, the address to my website. Feel free to go there to see what testimonials are there, and so on and so forth. Okay.
Thanks a lot.
On LinkedIn, someone is asking, I am on LinkedIn. It's not my strongest social platform, but I am on LinkedIn, I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, and a few more. Okay.
Thanks a lot.
That's it. Okay, so you can find me in all those places, and please keep talking, because I love connecting and ask questions. And the more questions you ask me, the more I'll be able to tailor-make the NLP course so that it can go towards what the answers that you want. When it comes to Instagram, it's the Humane Quest. The Humane Quest. It's the name of my
We can share, ma'am, all detail on our WhatsApp page. Okay. You can ask me if you have any other question about today session. Then you can ask me in my inbox. Then I can deliver to ma'am, and then ma'am answer these questions. Okay.
Absolutely. So feel free, because the more questions you ask, or the more things you can share that you would like to see addressed, the more I can make sure that those questions and those topics that you want to see addressed are addressed in the NLP course. Okay, so help me, help you.
Our first class of NLP is done in 6 March on Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. You can also join Ma'am Maria in March first week Sunday, and in March and April every Sunday you can join us with Ma'am Maria at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. You have any question about these session and other session, you can ask me, then I can deliver these questions to our respected speaker. And when our respected speaker answer this question, I deliver this answer to you. Okay, ma'am, can we end this session?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
First of all, thanks to you. You give your time, and you give us a very huge, and your every second is fill up with knowledge, and every minute is blessing for us. And thanks to all you join our today's session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. Thank you
thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you so very
Thanks a
much.
lot.
It was a pleasure. Have a lovely evening. Have a lovely Sunday. And I hope to see you soon in the NLP course. Okay, it was a pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
You too. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, you can end the